Hello everyone, welcome to Surya Info Edge. In this session, we'll talk about basic Linux commands. First, we'll start Oracle VirtualBox and select one of the machines. Then, we'll open the machine, right click and open the shell in the terminal. We'll see two different types of commands today. One is for the directories and the second one is for the files. The first command is pwd, that is present working directory. It shows user's present working directory. Right now, I have logged in as root user and this desktop is my present working directory. Now, if I want to create certain directories on desktop, then I say mkdir. So I can create directory 1, I can say mkdir directory 2. But here, I want to create directory 3 inside this directory 2. The moment I press enter, then it says cannot create the directory. The reason is it tries to create directory 3 first. But the parent directory of directory 3, that is directory 2, is not yet created. So mkdir, that is make directory command, does not work in this situation. So what we have to do? We can say make directory and we can use an option, that is -p, to first create the parent directory and then create the child directory. So mkdir command can be used with -p option as well. So here mkdir works in two ways. One, with general creating a directories, and second, creating directories one inside another. Now if I want to remove the directory, I say directory 1. I write rmdir, which is remove directory, and the name of the directory. It removes the directory. But here if I say remove directory directory 2, it gives me error and says the directory is not empty. So with this we understand that rmdir or remove directory is used only for the empty directories. So the case in which the directories are not empty, I can use a command which is rm. I say rm directory 2. But rm command is basically used with files. If I say directory 2 directly, so is a directory. It says it is not a file, it is a directory. Cannot remove this. Then in this case, I have to tell it rm, that is remove directory. Okay, I know that directory 2 is a directory, but if it is a directory, can you remove it recursively? So I have to write -r. So -r is recursive deletion of the directory. Then it says that there is a descendant to the directory, that is there is directory 3 of course inside directory 2. So we have to answer yes, we want to delete. So I will type y and I will press enter. Then it says there is directory, remove directory 2 or 3, then I will say again yes. Then it says directory 2, I will say yes. So what exactly it is asking? See, it is asking 3 times. First it is taking the permission. What exactly it is saying? It is saying directory 2 is not empty. Do you want to delete it? I say yes. Then it asks, do you want to delete this directory 3 which is inside directory 2? I say yes. Then it asks, now do you want to clear or delete the directory 2? I say yes. Now n number of times it is asking me permission. So what I can do is I can say rm -r f directory 2. What is it does? When I say f, it does it forcefully. So it will not ask me for the permissions, it will forcefully delete the directory 2. But right now, because directory 2 is already deleted, we have to create it again. So I will say mkdir create directory 2 and create directory 3 inside it, and maybe directory 4, just for the checking that you want to create another directory. Now it gave me a problem. Oh, I just forgot -p over here. That's correct. So I'll just write -p over here, which is going to create me the parent directory first and then the rest of the directories. Now I will say -rm. We'll just clear the screen once. I'll say remove directory 2. When I say remove directory 2, it will say it is a directory. I cannot remove directory, I can just remove files. So I'll say no problem, remove recursively. But the moment I say recursively, it is going to ask me n number of time permission. First it will ask me that it is not empty, do you want to delete it? Then it will ask for all the directories, right? Section 4 directory, then it come to third directory, then it will come to second directory, and it will take permission. I don't want any permission, forcefully delete everything. It is going to delete. But sometimes what happens, sometimes that the files are very important, then I will suggest that don't use this forcefully. So this forcefully basically removes the directory without the permission. So the another command is interactive. Actually earlier what we did was interactive only. I or interactive is a default option. We don't have to write it. When we don't write anything, that means I say -r means recursive. So it asks n number of times, right? So that is interactive. So even if I write, it is all right, no problem, but you don't have to write this I, because by default you don't write, it is there. But when you write this -f, it is going to actually suppress I, because I is interactive. F is going to suppress I, and it is going to do the things forcefully. So we don't use I and F together. Even if you write I over here, then it is not worth. Why? Because -f is going to actually do it forcefully, so interactive will not be there. So we have options like I, R, F, and there is one more option which is called as V, which is verbose. Verbose means it's going to tell you that what I am doing. So let's create for a few directories first. I'm creating let's say -p, I'm creating directory 2, directory 3, directory 4, like this, and now I say remove the directory. Then I say directory 2. If I do this, it will say directory 2 is not a file, I'll not remove it. Then I'll say okay, do it recursively if it is a directory. Then along with this, if I say V, that is verbose, then it's going to do it verbose. That means it's going to tell me. So one more thing I'm going to do over here is I'm going to put this F, that is forcefully, I'm telling delete or remove this directory 2 recursively. That means directory 4, 3, 2, all the directories will be deleted. Then forcefully, don't ask me anything, but do it verbose. Means once you delete everything on the desktop, on the screen, show me that I have deleted it. See. So it's going to tell me everything, that I removed this directory first, that is directory 4, which is inside 3 and inside 2. So I've removed 4th first, then I removed 3, and then I removed second directory. So -v actually, after removal of the directories, it is verbose. It tells you, it talks to you that what did I do. Okay. So these are the options. So I'll just repeat the options one more time for you. We were working with rm command. Basically rm command works with files. Okay, but if you want to make it work with directories, then you have to work with certain options. That is nothing but -i, which is interactive, and this is by default there. If you don't write -i, then also it is there. That means it is interactive. I can make it forcefully by using -f. I can make it verbose by using -v. On as I told you earlier also, I have to use -r, because if it is a directory, I will not be able to remove it. I have to do it recursively, directories inside directories inside directories. Okay. So with this, we have already seen most of the commands. Let's quickly have a revision. The first command we have seen is present working directory. The second command is make directory. The third command is remove directory, but as we said, remove directory is only there for empty directories. Then the next command is rm. Rm command is basically used with files, but I can use certain options to work, like make it work with the directories. That is recursive, forcefully, verbose, or interactive. Okay, the next command is cd command, that is change directory. So let's first clear the screen and let's have a look at the cd command. CD commands have so many options, The first option is just writing CD. CD means change directory. If I write CD command, nothing after that, then it takes me to my home directory. Now as I told you that I have logged in as root, then my home directory will be root directory. So if I check it present working directory, then it's going to tell me that you are inside this root and you are currently in the root directory. Okay. If I say cd space hyphen, then it is going to return me to the last working directory. The last working directory is my desktop. Okay, so I am moved to my desktop. If I want to go to my home directory, then I'll say cd space tilde sign. The tilde sign takes me to the home directory. So I'll say cd tilde. If I want to go to someone else's home, then I have to basically give the name of the user. So I have user 1 over here, so I can say change directory to tilde sign user 1. So I'll be moving to the user 1 directory. But here is a catch. User 1 directory is some other user's directory. Because I have logged in as root, I'm able to go to any user's directory. But if you are a normal user, you should have permission of the other user before going to his or her directory. Okay, so the next one is if I want to go to root directory, the main directory of your file system, then in that case you say cd space /. Okay, if you want to go to certain particular directory, then you have to provide the complete path of that directory. So let's say if I want to go to let's say I want to go to etc directory, so I'll say go to etc directory and then I'll be moved to etc directory. Now here the question is, etc directory is inside root, hence I did not use any path. I'll directly write etc directory. But from etc directory, if I want to go to my desktop, then how exactly I'll be moving? So I'll say cd inside root, there is my home, that is root. Inside this there is desktop and I want to move to this. Okay, so I can give complete path to move to particular location. cd space /. Now what exactly it does? It takes you to one level up wherever you are. So right now I am on desktop. What is my one level up? My one level up is my home directory, that is root. If I one more time, if I say cd space /, it is going to take me one level up. What is one level up to my root? That is the root directory, the main directory. So have a look over here, guys. On this one I was desktop. When I say /, I move to my home directory, that is root. When I did /, I move to this. Now if I do it one more time, I can't go anywhere else, right? Because root is the final or the topmost directory of your file system. So even if you do it n number of times, you will be there only, you will not go anywhere. Okay, but if you are in certain directory and if you want to go to one level up, then you can say cd .. So with this we have completed cd command. So I hope you understood that cd command is nothing but change directory and it has certain options. Now let's go to the next one, that is your file commands. The first command is nothing but your ls command. What is this ls command? Ls command talks about listing whatever is there, files or directories. So ls commands tells me that what are there. So right now I am in the root directory, so it tells me these are the things. So I'll just change directory actually to my home directory, and from this home directory I'll go to my desktop. You would have done the thing once only, but I did it 2 times. Okay, I'll just clear the screen and I'll say ls. What is there on my desktop? I have done some ABC, ABZ and file 1. There are 3 things on my desktop. Okay, now what else I can do? I can say ls-l. It is going to show me the detailings or listing. So here this dash tells me that this is a file and it has 3 things over here, that is owner, group and others. First one, read write execute is for owner. Here because it is a file, I won't be able to execute it. I can read it, I can write it, but I cannot execute it. The second one is group. I can read but I cannot write and execute. Others can read but they cannot write and execute. So owner can read and write the file, but if it is a directory, then there will be read, write and execute, and for on the first place it will be D. So let's create a directory and have a look at it. So I'll say make directory and I'll say directory 1, and now I'll say ls hyphen L, that is listing. So now it is going to list directory. See this one, because it is a directory, I can open it, so that is like execute, read, write, execute. The others or group have only read and execute permission, they cannot write in the directory. Files are in black color and directories are in the blue color. This is what we have. Okay. Now what else I can do with this? I can actually list the contents of the directory in the reverse order. So I can say file 1, directory 1, ABC, and if I'll say hyphen ls, then I'll be writing it, see, it is reversed. Alphabetical order, ABC comes first, then ABZ, then directory 1 and file 1. But the moment I have written hyphen R, it is nothing but reverse order. Reverse order is FDAN, like that. If I want to see all the directories contents, then in that case I'll be writing ls hyphen capital R. It is recursive, so it is going to show me recursively. Here only one directory is there, that is directory 1, and there is nothing inside that, so it can't show anything, right? So let's do one thing, let's create something inside that directory. So I say let's change directory to directory 1 first, and then make directory, and I'm gonna create 2, then I'm going to create 3, and I'm going to create 4 also, and I am going to say cd dash, it's going to take me to last working directory, which is desktop. Okay, so here what we were doing, recursive. So I'll say listing, so it is showing me that there's directory 1, file 1. I'll say listing, but I want it to be recursive, means if there is a directory, show me what is inside that directory. So here, because I have only one directory, it is showing directory 1 has directory 2, directory 2 has directory 3, directory 3 has directory 4, directory 4 is empty, there is nothing inside this directory. Okay, so it is recursive. Now, if you want to see the directories and files by their size, then you have to write capital S. Okay, so I'm going to sort the things by their size. So the one which is the biggest one is nothing but directory 1, then next, like that. So these are the commands which we have used. What were the commands? We have used hyphen L, that is ls hyphen small l, which says listing. Then we have seen the command ls hyphen R, that is reverse order. Then we have seen hyphen capital R, that is recursive. Then we have seen ls hyphen capital S, shows the size. So here if you see here, this directory is 4096, then ABC, ABZ is 3232, and this is 31. That's the reason directory 1 comes first. See, because here it is directory 1 topmost, the size is more than the lesser size, and so on. Okay. Now, if you don't know certain things, like you don't know the names and something like that, so at that point of time you can use the wildcard, which is star. So assume that if I want to know everything inside the current directories, so I have this ls, and I say I want to see everything which starts with A. I don't know the names of the files, but everything which starts with A. So ls space A, and then I have just given star, so it's going to show me ABC and ABZ are there with star. Then I'll say ls, I want everything with starting with D, I don't want the rest of the things, and I'll say star. Then it says that there's only one directory, which is directory 2, which starts with D, nothing else starts with that. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Now we'll just clear the screen, and I'm going to show you the next command, which is the touch command. Touch command is there to create the empty file, or it just create the files, it doesn't open that file. So I say I have I want to create this file, my file. Let's say I create my file. So I just say touch my file, so it is going to create it. I'll say ls and see it. Yes, my file is there because file 1 was already there. I've just created file, another file which is my file. Okay, so now we've just created my file, and now next command which I'm going to show you is writing inside the file with the help of cat command. So cat command can be used in number of ways. The first is I can use cat command to see the contents of the file. So I say cat my file, there's nothing inside this file, that's the reason cat doesn't return anything. Then next I can use this single sign, that is greater than sign. With the help of this you will be able to write. But remember, every time you use this sign you will be overwriting the file. Okay, if you want to append into the file you have to write 2 times the greater sign. Okay, so first we'll see this first one, cat my file. So it allows me to write something here. So I write A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is what I write. And now I want to actually come out of this cat. Okay, so now what I'll do Control D. So here I am out of this file. Now I want to see the contents of the file. I say cat my file, it shows me contents of the file. Okay, if I say cat greater than sign my file, now as I told you, greater than sign is going to overwrite the file. So whatever is written in the file will be deleted, and now I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and I say Control D and I try to see the contents again. I say cat my file. The initial contents which I have written ABC, that is all gone. But if I want to append into file, I say double greater than sign and I say my file. So here whatever I write now, A, B, C, D, and I say Control D to come out of cat, and now I say cat my file. Remember at this point, because earlier we used double greater than sign, it is going to append into my file, that is 1 to 3 up to 6, and then it has added A, B, C, D. So I hope you understood the 3 uses of cat. Cat is first used for looking into the file what is there. Second, it can be basically used to actually add the data into the file, that is appending of the file. Or third, it can be used for overwriting the file. Okay. Now the next command we will move to is tack. Now what is tack command? We'll just clear the screen first. The tack command is reverse of the cat command. So if I say cat my file is going to show you the contents of the file, right? So tack is going to show you the content of the file, but in the reverse order. So you see here D, C, B, A and then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because it is tack. If I say cat my file, it shows the contents of the file, and if I say tack, then it shows the contents of the file in the reverse order. Okay. The next command is grep command. What exactly this command does? It basically finds a file content and it shows it to you. Okay. So we basically can find a pattern in the file and we can just show it. So what I can say is grep, and whatever pattern you want to give, let's say I want A in my file. So if it is A is there in my file, it is going to grep that and show it to me. So basically grep is used to catch or get a particular thing from a file. Because assume that you have a big file and you want to find certain particular thing, you want to just know that whether it is there or not, then in that case you can, if you say cat and file name, let's say my file, so it is going to show you everything and you have to search for that. But if I say I know I want to see A only, then I will say grep and A. Now right now if I say grep 1, if 1 is there in the file, it is going to show me. But if some certain thing is not there in the file, so what will happen with that? So if I say I want to see Z and Z is not there in the file, then it will not be visible on the screen. So grep command, I hope you understood. So basically it is there for find certain strings or certain pattern in the file. So what we have seen just now, we have seen 3 basic commands for files. One is nothing but touch command, which basically creates a empty file. Then we have seen cat command and tac command. Cat and tac are basically, I will take it as one command only. Cat command shows you the contents of the file. It can help you to add into the file, that is append into the file. It can actually overwrite a file. And then we have seen the grep command. Grep command is used to capture certain things from the file. Okay, the next command, which is very important command, is called as head. Now what exactly this command does? Head command displays the beginning lines of the file, or we can say the header of a file. If a file is very big and you want to see the header of that file, then at that time what you can do is you can use the head and file name. So I say my file. So if you see, it shows the header of the file. Now because the file is very small, it has only certain inputs, so it is showing complete file. Otherwise if you have a big file, at that time it will show you only first 10 lines. So I'll say head /etc, that is I'm going inside etc, and if I say inside etc I want to see a PWD file, no, passwd file, that is password file. Okay, so it's going to show me the first 10. PWD file, the password file is big enough, so it shows you the first lines. Okay, I'll just clear the screen, we'll see it one more time. And if you want to see the last 10 lines, so you'll say tail. So it's going to show me the last 10 lines. We'll talk about the password file some other time. What we'll do is we'll say head, but I want to see only first 5 lines of a file. So my directory has more than 5 lines. I want to just see first 5 lines. So I'll say head my directory. My file. I'm sorry, I'll just clear the screen. Here I'll say my file. So it shows only first 5 lines. And tail -5 my file, it shows only last 5 lines. So it is up to you. See, if you want to see first 10 lines or for last 10 lines, then you can just say head and the file name, tail and the file name. But if you want to see certain like number like 10, 5, 15, 20 like that, like other than 10, then you can just write hyphen and that number which you want to see. Next, the next command is more and less command. These two commands will go together. Actually, the more command is a pager command. Now what pager command does? It shows you the file page by page on the screen. Okay, so assume I have a very big file. As I told you, I'll take a big file right now. So I will say more and I will give you the file name, that is inside root there's etc and there's passwd file. So when I say like this, it is showing me page by page. So right now I'm pressing enter, or I'm pressing space bar, it goes next, next, next like that. Okay, so basically it has shown me page by page what was there, and we have come down. Now if I say same with less and file name, so my file name is my file. So here in this case the main difference is less allows single line movement. I can navigate single line at a time. Okay, So here, because it is just one file, I say Q to come out of the less. To come out of the less, I have to press Q. And from more, you don't have to press anything. Once the file is completed, you come out of the more. But for less, you have to press Q to come out of less. Okay. So what is the difference between more and less? Basically, more takes you page by page, and less takes you one line at a time. Okay. So if I say less etc passwd, that is password file, then it is going to take me one line at a time and then n. So up down arrow I can use with it, up arrow taking one line up, then going one line down. And please remember guys, if you press space bar, then even less will take you page by page. So if I press page, then space bar, then it takes me page by page. Okay. Otherwise I can go up with up arrow, I can come down with down arrow. Okay. So like this I can do. These things I cannot do with more. With more I can only press basically a space bar, and I can go like one page, another page. But here if you see, even if it shows me end, I am not coming out of less. To come out of the less I have to press Q, otherwise you won't be out of it. Okay. So now basically we have completed many commands, and one more command I want to show you is VI. Actually VI is an editor with the help of which we can write inside this. As I told you, touch. So if I use touch, I will be creating an empty file, but with the help of editor I will be able to write into the file. So I can just use VI and I can write into the file. So I say my file and I can write something inside it. Okay. So to come in to write or to go into the insert mode, I press I and I start writing anything of my choice. To come out of the insert mode, I press escape and then I say colon WQ and enter. That is write and quit. I am doing it one more time. VI, VIM, these things will cover actually in some other session where we will talk about the editor. But right now, because I want you to know, at least you can write with the VI editor. Even you can write with cat, but with VI also you can write. So with VI editor I can go inside my file. If I want to write in the file, I press I, then I will be going inside the insert mode. I can write things. To come out of the insert mode, I will press escape, then I will write colon. If I don't want to save what I have written, then I will just say Q, and if I want to save, I will write WQ, which is write and quit. Okay. So this is VI. Actually VI doesn't come under the commands which I am showing you right now, but I just wanted to show you once. Okay. So what we have done now, we were talking about the file command. So we have completed ls command, we have completed rm command, and now we are moving to copy command. So we just have to do two more commands, that is nothing but like copy command and move command. So now first what I am going to do is I am going to show you file 1. File 1 was there, did we delete it? Okay, so let us create a file. So I will say touch file 1. Okay, I will say cat file 1. File 1 is empty. I will say cat my file. My file is having certain data. So what I want to do is I want to copy. What I want to copy? I want to copy my file contents into file 1. Okay. So it is asking, do you want to overwrite file 1? I will say yes. So what exactly happened? I have just now copied whatever was there in my file into file 1. So I will just clear the screen and I will show you cat file 1. See, the contents are copy. I can actually move my file. So what I can do is I can use the command mv to move the file. I will say mv to move the file. So it will ask me which file. I will say, let's say I want to move file 1. Then it will ask me where exactly you want to move the file. I will say I want to move it to the root directory. So it's going to take me to the root directory. Then I say move, I say my file I want to remove. Where exactly you want to move it? I'll say inside root directory there is root. I want to move this file inside the root. So now let's have a look where exactly my files are. I will just change my directory first to root and I'll say ls. Here you should see file 1, correct? Now I will, here I can see file 1. Okay, this is my file 1 which is moved to root. The second command which I have executed is my file inside the root directory. Okay, so now I'm going to say cd root and I'll say ls. Can you see my file? Yes, the my file is over here and these two files were on the desktop. So now these two files are not on the desktop. Earlier they were on the desktop, now they have moved from the desktop. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say move. Which file I want to move? I want to move file 1. But now see, I am inside my home directory. I am not in root, right? So I have to give the complete path. So I say I want to move file 1 which is inside root to where exactly I have to give the whole path. I want to move to root desktop. Okay, so I want to move file 1 to desktop. This is what I want to do. Then what will happen? See, your file 1 is over here again. Second, I want to move my file, but right now I am inside my root, right, my home. So pwd and see, I am inside root and my file is inside root. So what I'll do, I'll say move. So I'll just have to say my file, I don't have to give the path, and then I have to say go to desktop. Okay, so even if you don't write this root now, this is okay, you know, because you are inside root only, you can just say you just move to desktop. Okay, because we are inside root, so I'll just say move to desktop. Okay, so now what we have done, I think we made a mistake. We have actually moved inside root desktop. So what we have to do is we have to move inside our desktop, like the desktop in which we are. Okay, so right now if you see the directory, my file is not moved from that directory because we made a mistake over there. What mistake we did? The mistake is, one second, we'll just delete this one so that you can understand it better. See the command, just this command. What did I do? I have written this /. What does it mean? Move this my file to / desktop. Now your question should be, desktop was not there on the root directory. Yes, desktop was not there. It is being created. So if I say cd or let's say ls root, then it is going to show me the desktop over here. See, the desktop is being created. So what exactly happened is my file is being moved to root directory with a new name desktop. I'm repeating it one more time. I want to move it, right? I want to move this file. Okay, but what did I do? Instead of giving the correct desktop location, I have given a root location, and inside this root location I said desktop. There was nothing like desktop, there was no directory with the name desktop. So what exactly it did, you know, it has created a new file with the name desktop and it is moved my file to desktop. Okay, so this way it has done. Okay, to be more clear, what I'm gonna do is move. First I'm going to show you something and then we'll see it. Okay, here I have file 1. Do you see anything? No, there's nothing other than file 1. There's only one file over here. So I'll say, first I'm going to say cd and I'm going to go to desktop. Okay, I'll just clear my screen. I'll say move file 1 to desktop. What happened with this? Now see, desktop is not the directory here. what did I do? You know, I am moving the file1 contents in another file which is named as the desktop file. Okay, so basically what I am doing is I am moving file1 content to desktop. Now if you see, a desktop is over here. So I have moved file1 to desktop. Okay, so with this we have completed all the commands, and I hope you understood the commands. So with this we finish our session. Thank you.